Gotta say, Yahoo News, I was a little disappointed on Sunday when I came across your article by a lady named Sarah Bradley just regurgitating what Rami Sethi had said in his podcast and signing her name to it at the top. Congratulations on citing your references and providing no credentials. You probably don't even exist. So I don't really feel bad for being mean. Apparently, this guy has a Netflix show called How to Get Rich and a YouTube channel called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. So, on episode 111, he said the following. But before I get into it, I'd like to say that I did not watch the entire podcast because it basically spelled it out right here, and I found the subject to be ridiculously outside of the bell curve for the majority of the country. But here it is anyway. He asks, will you live there for 10 years plus? Look, obviously, this information is pointed towards people that aren't currently homeowners, meaning we're probably talking about a starter home or a first-time homebuyer program. There's a good likelihood that you don't want to live in your starter home for 10 years anyway. On average, people start looking for their second home at 3 years, refinance somewhere in the middle, and then move to their next home at about year 5. Outgrowing a house is like a snake shedding. It's natural, it's normal, and it's inevitable. Number 2, is your total monthly housing cost lower than 28% of your gross monthly income? This is the lowest end of the spectrum. The sin on this one is that if you don't come in under that number, just use FHA at 36%. What gets people more is the back end ratio, which adds the rest of the credit obligations. So if you're listening to this with concern, living in your apartment and driving a $120,000 truck at $1,200 a month, maybe you need to rethink your priorities. But overall, this one just isn't that bad. Number 3, have you saved 20% for down payment? He goes on to say that if you haven't saved for a 20% down payment, you're not ready to buy a house. And keep in mind, he says, that you can be approved for a mortgage if you save far less than 20%, but the more you save for your down payment, the better and more affordable your loan terms. This is not factually incorrect. However, you don't get appreciation on the amount of the house that you own. You get the appreciation on the value of the house. If you're paying rent and throwing money down the toilet every month, does it make sense to do it for longer to save more money? No, it does not. It doesn't matter how much MI, interest, or HO fees you have to pay. You should get into a house as quickly as possible because you can't save money in most cases faster than to offset the increase in housing prices, the rate of inflation, and it will only get worse when interest rates drop. It's unlikely that you can, in this economy, save $10,000 a year. You would have to do this for 6 years to make up $60,000 for a 20% down payment on a $300,000 house. And you will have thrown $2,000 a month or $144,000 over 6 years to do it. And you've gained no appreciation, paid down no principal, and all it will have saved you on that deal is $340 a month. For reference, if you refinance your $300,000 home from 5% to 7%, you save $600 a month. Number 4, are you okay if the value of your house goes down? From a national standpoint, there is a deficiency of 4 to 7 million homes, depending on who you ask. We've never produced more than 2 million in a single year. This basic supply and demand concept is the reason for the increase in values. So when rates go down, prices will go up because of the same supply and demand concept. More people in the pool means the water level rises. It's as easy as that. And number 5, are you excited about buying? What a subjective bunch of crap. Especially for first-time homebuyers, the process is both exciting and terrifying. The existence of terror doesn't mean that it's a bad idea. It just means that it's something new. Growth is uncomfortable. If everyone stopped once they got scared, there'd be no Tour de France because nobody ever learned how to ride a bicycle, no X Games because nobody stood on a board with wheels, no one would ever ask anyone else on a date, and human civilization would collapse because somebody would be afraid that if they told someone else that eating mold was going to be good for them in the form of penicillin, they'd gotten laughed out of the frickin' room. I would like to point out that there's probably a reason they put this disclaimer at the bottom of the article.